Hi everyone, long time no see. We have been MIA for a while because we've been busy baking a little bun in the oven. Say hi to baby Koo. I'm well into my second trimester and feel much more energetic now, so we want to give you guys an update on what's going on. I started to feel very nauseous and sick when we were doing the ISVA recipe showcase back in August. Kevin was testing a duck breast noodle recipe every day and I had to taste test. I just thought that I was sick of duck and that's why I was feeling sick. Little did I know that our little bundle of joy just didn't like duck very much. Actually, I still feel a little queasy when I think about duck. Kevin is actually not allowed to say the word and he calls it the forbidden meat. So my first trimester was pretty rough. I couldn't handle the smell or taste or even look at food. Just even thinking about food made me sick too. So you see, it's kind of hard to do a food channel when you have all the food aversions. I literally survived on congee and soup and I just couldn't handle any meat at all. And since I was working full-time as well, I was basically so tired I would be KO'd by the time I got home. So I just decided to take it easy and just not push myself too hard during the first trimester. Now, besides not being able to eat much, there were also things I needed to avoid. In both Western and Chinese medicine and culture, there are certain foods you cannot eat when you're pregnant. So when you add these two together, now you see why we've been missing for a while. So today I just want to talk a bit about some of the interesting things I found that you're not supposed to eat during your pregnancy. Now we all know for Western medicine you're not supposed to have alcohol or raw fish or raw meat. But there were some others that surprised me. No fish with high mercury content because that can harm the baby's brain. These are usually big predatory fish that would eat others on top of the food chain. Think shark, bluefin tuna, swordfish, etc. No raw sprouts because there's a chance of bacteria, and along those lines, no prepared salads because you don't know how long it's been sitting out there for. And this one I'm pretty deviled about. No deli meats. I love cold cuts. I really want some ham and turkey right now. But again, it's because of bacteria. No caffeine, of course, and even pineapples because it supposedly induces labor, and we definitely don't want that early on. Maybe later. Now let's see what you're not supposed to eat when you're pregnant in Chinese medicine. It's actually quite strict and sometimes a little convoluted. When I first told my parents that I was pregnant and I have a lot of food aversions, they asked me what I normally eat, so to see where I can be supplemented. So I'm like, well, the first thing in the morning I have is a banana. And my mom was like, what? No. And I'm like, what? Bananas are healthy. She's like, oh my God, don't you know anything about cold foods? And you ate it on an empty stomach? That is so bad. And I'm like, well, you didn't tell me any of these. Why don't you tell me what I can and cannot eat then? So here's a list. I just want to quickly say that this is not medical advice and these are just things that work for me, so make sure you do your own research and consult your doctor. In traditional Chinese medicine, foods are considered hot or cold. Actually, there's also a middle ground, which is just not hot or cold. When you're pregnant, you should avoid cold foods completely, but also try not to eat hot foods. This is the time when your body needs the most balance. I have done a video on my other channel, Off the Great Wall, explaining the concept of what hot or eat hay is in traditional Chinese medicine. If you're interested in that, I put the link in the description below. Yes, so I forgot bananas were cold. But it makes sense. Whenever I have a sore throat, I have a banana and I feel better. You get a sore throat when you're too hot. Women in general, especially pregnant women, should avoid cold foods because women are already a yin base, so you're already cold. And when you have cold foods, it imbalances your body. When I'm on my period, I also avoid cold foods. I find that when I do eat cold foods, I get worse cramps or my period is heavier. Cold energy food slows down the activity of the spleen and enzymatic actions of the stomach, so it can affect your digestion and cause diarrhea. It will also affect your blood flow and might contract the uterus. Sometimes cold foods have even been blamed for miscarriages, but that's a completely different topic. Just remember, this is not medical advice. Here are some cold foods you should avoid. Things that are cold or ice in general: watermelon, ice cream. Actually, back in August, I had a bite of that and immediately I felt it in my stomach, so no more. Cucumber, bitter melon, radish, crab, tea, and so on and so forth. So fine, I'll just have some chicken soup then. No, chicken soup is too heaty for you. What? Funny because you usually have chicken soup in Western medicine when you have a cold. actually, yes, that makes sense because chicken soup is hot based, and when you're cold, you're cold. Okay, fine. So it turns out too much heat is not good for you either. It will imbalance your body and can cause things like constipation, swollen gums, acne, dry and bitter mouth, etc., etc. So it's best to avoid it. So deep fried foods are out, junk food is out too, spicy foods, Okay, how about some fruits then? Even some fruits are considered heaty. Longan, lychee, apricots, mangoes. Most citrus are okay, except mandarin. Now, these foods may not necessarily be hot or cold, but should also be avoided. Aloe, barley, and wood year increases the risk of contraction. It has a smoothing or slippery effect that may cause induction, so you definitely want to avoid this. Papaya, especially green or raw papaya, contains a lot of latex and might trigger contractions. It is good for afterbirth because it can help the uterus become smaller and produce more milk. Pork liver, I think this goes for Western medicine too, because liver has a high amount of vitamin A, it can become toxic for your baby. In Chinese medicine, liver is good for removing excess blood in the uterus, but there's no excess blood when you're pregnant, so you don't want it to remove anything that it's not supposed to remove. Sesame oil. This is actually a very important ingredient after birth because it is good to remove the bad blood in your body, but during pregnancy, it's not good because it may cause bleeding. Okay, after I cut all the stuff I'm not allowed to eat and remove the stuff that I just cannot eat, there's just not much left. I think it's the cleanest I've ever eaten in my whole life. When I've reached my 4th month, which is the 2nd trimester, I started to get my appetite back. But the food selection was pretty sad. I told my parents that I'm getting bored of these super plain foods, and they're just like, oh, just eat whatever you want. Excuse me? You're in your 4th month now, right? Just eat whatever you feel like. You mean I can go eat crab now? They're like, yeah, but if you eat too much, you may still get diarrhea because it's too cooling, but if you want some, you can have some. And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, at 4th month, you're stable now. Just eat whatever you want. Just make sure it's still nutritious though. So mamas out there, try to avoid these foods in the first 3 months, but starting from the 4th month, you can loosen up a bit. Of course, there are still some foods that I avoid, like those contraction-inducing ones and the toxic ones, and I'm still mindful of what I eat to make sure it's nutritious and healthy, but I do have the occasional fried chicken or a bite of ice cream. It's okay. I still can't eat duck though. I think all those taste tests in the beginning really scarred me. So tell me about your aversions and cravings in the comments section below. I also have a few recipes that work really well for me and the baby, so if you're interested, give me a thumbs up so we'll post that video. Kind of cooking may look a little different from now on because, well, I won't show up as often and we'll try to make it easier to film so it won't be too hard for me to operate the camera as I get bigger and busier. Alright, thanks for watching and we'll catch up soon.